How do we know it's actually on?
We are live. Well, we know it's on because that little thing over there does, and they're all looking at us going, what are they doing talking and pointing over there for?
I was more referencing where's the screen to show us.
Yeah, so there. Hi everyone, by the way. How you doing? We're early. It's a shocker, I know.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, that's the first thing. Let us know that you can hear us, and yeah, it's a good one.
Thank you.
Yes, whee! So it's all working. So yeah, we're early. That's odd. We thought as we're sat down here and we've got everything ready, we thought we could sit here and chat to ourselves for a little bit, or we could talk to you guys, which is why we're here. So in case you don't know who we are, I'm Matt Kay. We've got Reach and we've got Ash sitting on the other side there, and we are here to talk about old school with you guys and answer your questions. Reach has got something to show you later on as well, game-wise, obviously. So yeah, so if you've got questions, please do ask them. That's what we're here for. I'm sure more people will turn up in due course. And no questions are coming through. So in the meantime, clans. Clan Cup is starting this weekend. The first rounds are going on. Are we getting no sound? Hang on, Leslie's saying she can't hear us.
Has Leslie RS turned her volume up?
Yes. We have sound, just Leslie doesn't have sound. That's
okay.
Good. That's all right. Clan Cup starting this weekend. Loads of clans signed up. I had 37 clans sign up for it, I think. The clan leaders will come and meet me tomorrow so that I can set them in game as a clan leader, which means they'll be able to access the clan arena. I'll be in game from 7 o'clock tomorrow. There's a thread in the forums. Yeah, Leslie didn't have a sound turn on. Yeah, so I'll be doing a live stream as well tomorrow night at 9 o'clock to answer any questions that these clans have about the Clan Cup. And yeah, it's all in the forums and what have you, so have a look there. And questions. Mod Reach looks like a beast. Nice one, man.
I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Right. Anything else? There we go. Here's a question from Don V. Magic staves, damage increase, and auto cast. Could these be pulled soon?
Well, let's see. I rewrote the autocasting code when I was implementing stuff for Nightmare Zone, which means it's actually really quite easy to add new spells to the autocast menus these days, and that's come in quite handy for the God Wars extra weapon already. So yes, if you'd like more autocast features, we could do that, and it wouldn't take very long to program either.
Cool.
Can I take the question about from Master XVI about quick join last chat channel?
Go for it.
Cool. So the deal there is that the game engine does remember which channel you were in last time you were playing. Unfortunately, it won't spit out the data to us, so we can't call the command that makes you rejoin it on login. We've asked the engine team, can you please give us such a command, because then we can do this feature that players would like. Unfortunately, it turns out the first time they make a new command for us, they have to refactor all the old ones. I do not know what that means. I don't know why they have to do it, but their job is to understand what that means. Mine is not. So they would like to do it, but first it's going to take a little while, and there's more urgent things that we want from them first. So I'm afraid that one's going to have to stay on the wish list for a bit longer. Sorry.
Cool. Dan, they're talking about bosses. Do you want to talk about your boss that you've been playing with?
Somebody mentioned Virago in Old School. If you watched the stream last week, I actually showed off a concept of a boss that I was working on, known as the White Dragon. I also showed off some armor it dropped, which was white dragon armor. Basically, dragon chain, helm, square shield and legs recolored but white. That's something that I'm working on the side. If you follow us on Twitter, I actually do post pictures of it up there as well. It's something we're looking into. I think there was a debate about the Kraken recently. That's something that we took quite seriously. We actually quite like that. I remember Ash talking about the squid thing from, I can't remember what it's called now. Your quest. No, the squid thing. That's
the Sea Troll Queen.
That's the Sea Troll Queen. That's the one. Being a model for the Kraken, but I decided to go the other way with such a white dragon. New boss in Old School would be a brilliant idea. It's something you should probably post on the forums and discuss, get everybody else's opinions on it, so at least then we know what to include in it. But it's definitely on my list of things that I'd like to put in Old School.
And something that also to bear in mind is next week you'll probably be hearing news about the player-designed content idea that we've got, where you come up with ideas of what you want to go in game, and then we will make sure that those are what's deliverable gets polled to the players, and you guys can decide on what goes in game. That'll be an idea purely from what you guys make. So if you have ideas, next week will be worthwhile looking at the dev blog and getting involved with that. Certainly. Right, other question. This might be another one for you, Dan. DDoSing. Someone just posted on there saying, is DDoSing going to be an issue? As far as I'm aware, it's not going to be an issue.
DDoSing is more, that's something that's not on our end, it's something we can deal with. We have made changes in the main game to better protect a player who potentially gets DOSed, but again, these are features that we can't really do anything about on our side. If you are DDoSed, it goes straight to you, not us, so there's not really anything I could think of that would be appropriate for us to do or add for that.
Yeah, I mean, our servers are very well protected at the moment. There hasn't been any sort of offline things for a long time now, and there's no reason to think that's going to happen. But we'll monitor it. We've got a whole team dedicated to monitoring it, so if things do happen, we will be in place to deal with them. So no, not any point worrying about DDoSing. Anything else interesting you guys can see coming through?
I saw gravestones a second ago.
Yeah, we'll talk about gravestones.
Do that on?
Well, I worked on the gravestone project back in 2007 when they were first being implemented, and the thing is, what we were doing back then was preparing for the trade limits to be put into the game, something that 07 does not have and does not want, as far as I can tell. So we don't have the same need for it that we did back then. If you die at the moment, your friends can pick up your stuff and return it to you, assuming they're nice friends. That is how it used to be back in the really old school days, and it was only because that was going to be impossible with the trade limit that we had to put in gravestones at all. I don't mind putting in a little marker to say, hey, this guy was here, this guy died, woo, better luck next time, that guy. But I'm not sure you really want us to start protecting your items so that you never lose anything much on death, or prevent you from getting each other's death drops to return, or even just get lucky from. Also, there was a game engine command that was made for that prevents items from despawning so quickly. We don't have that command, and as I've mentioned earlier, getting new commands from the engine team comes with an initial cost that might make it a bit of a long-term investment from their part. So for the moment, I don't think we can do gravestones like they were. We could do a little marker, but it would only be cosmetic.
Cool. Jag, that's been asked a couple of times as well. Jag, for those who don't know, it is Jag's account guardian, he says, try and remember. It's there to protect your account. Now, I think there are fundamental engine problems with actually delivering that, I think. Do you know about that, Ash?
It's something they would have to do, something they have not yet done.
Yeah.
They're aware we'd like it, but they're aware we'd like a whole lot of other stuff too.
Yes, yeah, so it's one of the things. It's have to wait on that one, I'm afraid. By limit of battle staff, somebody wants, there we go, True Scottish wants the battle staff by limit increased.
I think that's a main game issue.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's all right then. I'll shut up then.
We don't have a limit on buying battle
I don't
stars.
think we did, that's why I thought it was on it last.
Well, what we did in RuneScape not long after 2007 was to add the Rock Achievement Diary, where you could get extra battle staffs from Zaf if you'd done the various levels of the diary's rewards. And I've had quite a few people asking for achievement diaries again. That's the kind of thing we could add as a reward very easily. So if we were to do some achievement diaries, and I think people might like it, we could do a whole batch of achievement diaries at once to make a proper week's update out of it, since they don't have a lot in the way of gameplay. And extra battle staffs could well be part of the rewards like it was before.
Cool. Bots, banning bots. We're banning loads of bots. A couple of people asked about when we're going to start banning bots. We've been banning them for months and months and months. A lot of people, we've got a few posts that have arrived in the forums basically saying, I report loads of bots, none of them ever seem to get banned. I've looked at actually some of these people and the bots they're reporting, and we generally make the same amount of, or put the same amount of offences as the bots they've reported. So if you've reported 60 bots, you generally get around 60 offences created from those reports. So, you know, we are on top of bots, and we're banning bots. And we will continue to ban bots. There's no reason why we're going to stop. Yeah, bots are bad, and we're banning them. That is the upshot of that. Nightmare Zone. So we want to talk about Nightmare Zone
Okay.
and there you go. Nightmare Zone and people doing stuff in it to get lots of XP.
I believe it's about the boosting issue
Yeah.
or people farming points. If you hadn't noticed today, we did an update today where we launched the original effects of the overload, which is an overload damaging you every cycle, which would be 10 damage down to 50 HP, or obviously from max. So it hit you 5 times up to 50 HP. This wasn't done with the intention of completely screwing over people who wanted to farm in Nightmare Zone, but it also added the pre-AOC effect people were after originally, and it also meant that people who were going in had a little bit more damage input coming in their way, I guess. We'll continue to look at methods that people use to farm points as well as farm mad XP per hour. I don't so much mind people training in there. I mean, it's a very good place to train, and we knew about this before we went out. Myself and Mod Oliver actually set up the perfect setup before we launched it, and we really enjoyed the way it worked. Obviously, no matter how good we think we are, there's always players out there who are much better than us, and they obviously find a much better system than we find. So we're not going to completely penalise people who find very good ways of training in Nightmare Zone, but at the same time, if someone does find a method which is over the top or is taking advantage of it, we'll look at ways we can not nerf it, but make it less extreme, I guess.
Like we did a few weeks ago when we reduced the points multiplier for people who hadn't done quite so many quests as others.
Cool. Someone's asking a question, it's quite an interesting one. Are PvP worlds really the preferred way to PK? That's from Twig's Talon 2, there we go. We actually polled what you wanted us to do a couple of months back now, it must have been.
Yeah, it was.
And we polled sort of 4 ideas that we could work on. One was God Wars, and we had PvP worlds, we had Clan Wars, and we had Wilderness Tag. And God Wars came first, obviously, which is why it's coming out in exactly a week's time, isn't it? Wow, check that out. It's all quite exciting.
It looks very good.
It does look very good indeed. Second came PvP Worlds, third came Clan Wars, and fourth came Wilderness Tag, which is why PvP World Poll is going. That was gone up today. So if you haven't voted, please do go and vote. Along with some other quite interesting things in there as well, including the chat filter, which you guys asked us about last stream. So that's quite cool. So yeah, so basically it's what the players vote is the next important thing to put in, which beat Clan Wars and it beat Wilderness Tag. So yeah, is the answer. It's what you guys voted for, and that's the way we deal with it. Really, you guys vote for it, we do it. What else we've got coming in? We've got questions about. It's going too quick. I can't read it.
It is streaming quite quickly.
Yes, lots of people have lots of questions to ask. Plans for new quests. Who wants to take something about new quests?
That you're the best person for that.
You probably are, yeah.
Well, I've written quests before. I wrote Swan Song, My Arm's Adventure, Love Story, and Carnelian Rising, 2 of which we have in OldScape already. I'd be very happy to write you more quests. It's a slow process, though, and for the moment there's quite a lot of things coming in that you might like a bit more urgently for the long-term gameplay. But I would love very much to write more quests for you, perhaps expanding storylines we have, perhaps doing something in the background with characters we haven't established so much. Just bear in mind, we aren't in a position to create new models or anything that looks radically different at the moment. So if we did make a new quest, it would have to reuse existing graphics. You can do a lot reusing existing graphics. You can make new dungeons, you can make new cities even, if you actually wanted that in Old School RuneScape. But you wouldn't be seeing revolutionary new monsters the like of which have never before been seen in RuneScape, because at the moment we do not have an artist in the team, and for the moment I think we should assume we're not going to get one anytime soon. So yes, we could write you new stories and rewards for them, but it would be a little limited in places.
I think myself and Mod Oliver actually pitched a Wise Old Man quest to you again about 2 months ago. Wise Old Man is a brilliant storyline. It's one of my favourite storylines anyway, which explains why it's actually a transmog on the potato where I can turn into the Wise Old Man because it's just entertaining. I think the idea Ollie and I came up with was Wise Old Man and Xenavivia actually broke up because Xenavivia was having an affair with Santa Claus, I believe.
That was one of the ideas we talked about, yes.
It was one of those wild ideas, but as I said, quests are doable, but they're obviously not probably your highest priority of things.
Also, we don't have love stories, so we don't have Xenovivian.
This is true, yeah.
Which is rather sad.
We could just say any old female.
Yeah, he's maybe not picky.
Why not?
Yeah.
I think there's a hint that he's maybe dated the gypsy at some point. Because in
Yeah.
Recipe for Disaster, when she tells you to go to the wise old man to get advice about chickens, she says, tell him that Bubbykins says hi. I don't want to know what that's all about. Sounds
You made it.
I did not make that.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, okay.
Greg did.
Oh, okay. That would explain a lot, a great many things.
Right, so dungeoneering and summoning. It's asked that about 4 or 5 times now. People have asked about dungeoneering and summoning. Who wants to tell them no?
So let's see. Summoning had a whole load of new NPCs, new monsters with their graphics and their spells and their pouches. Those are not graphics we've got, so we can't do it like that. We don't mind the idea that people have been posting. I think Mr. Crow's been running a lot of threads about combat pets, where creatures that follow you around maybe fight at your side, like a sort of simplified version of summoning, without so many fancy bells and whistles and special attacks and spells that are like special attacks. We would be willing to do something like that if that was what you actually wanted in Old School RuneScape. For the moment, I'd be surprised, but we would be willing to consider it. As for dungeoneering, I do like the idea of a dungeon that generates itself for you and your party as you go through it. We wouldn't be able to make it quite so elaborate as the dungeoneering skill from other RuneScape. We don't have some of the artificial intelligence features that the other game has. We don't have the maze generator. We'd be trying our best with what we've got to make variable dungeons for you, but it wouldn't be quite so extreme as the full skill that you've got in the other game. Still, it might make an interesting minigame.
That's cool. Well, there's an interesting question from Raindrips here asking about smoking kills. Again, it's a question we hear an awful lot. You want smoking kills. You actually don't want smoking kills. You want the rewards from smoking kills. I think is what we figured out. So we don't have to worry about putting the quest in, but we can look at the rewards. And that's just got something to say.
Actually, no, somebody asked us to wait, so...
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I didn't see that.
But one thing we could do is create new dungeons full of higher level versions of Slayer monsters that you've seen before. So where you've had, basilisks before, we could make a bigger one. We could make something a lot like that dungeon from the Smoking Kills quest. What we couldn't have is the quest's very idiosyncratic dungeon where you meet Catalax, the dead Slayer master. And we don't currently have the model of the Slayer helmet itself. That really is a drawback for us. We will try and do anything we can to get a Slayer helmet into Old School RuneScape for you. But for the moment, we might do better looking at the dungeons, the availability of monsters, high-level versions of things, reward points that you can get by completing tasks without birthorping, and abilities you can unlock from saving up those points.
Yeah. And one of the things that we got planned for, I think it's November, is a Slayer update, which we want to pitch to you guys, so assuming you vote for it, of course. So that should all fall into that, which will be pretty cool. A lot of people talk about free-to-play, which is kind of every time we say Old School, the word free-to-play appears.
I'll give you that impression.
I don't know, it's sort of, 60% of the messages coming through are 3 letters. It's either that or all the keyboards are stuck with only 3 letters working. So free-to-play, there is no plans for free-to-play right now. So there's nothing really huge I could say to you. The issues we have with free-to-play is that as a company we need to make sure we're in the right position to do it. We need to be able to support all the new players that will come to free-to-play. We need to make sure that the bots are all out the way for free-to-play. In fact, if we poll free-to-play now, I'll guarantee it won't pass because all the people who can vote are all members, and it's them that will be feeling the effects of free-to-play coming in. And I would imagine a lot of them will turn around and say there's too many bots, we don't trust free-to-play to come in where there'll be more bots.
Actually got a random event, one sec.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
he's got a random event.
Thankfully it's a quick random event.
The other reason why we're not going to poll it right now is because we can't deliver it. So until we're in a position where we can, we're not going to be able to poll it for you, I'm afraid. Blah 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 blah. Any other questions coming through? Dan's distracting me with his leaked.
Something Kazar keeps asking. He actually tweeted me about this last night, which I don't know the answer to in all honesty, but I'm not entirely sure that it's not possible we can't do it. An in-game item from RuneFest is something I keep seeing coming up.
That is something that we've discussed. The end result, don't know, is the answer.
We don't have the item redemption code system like the other RuneScape does, because it came so much later. So it's not like we can give you a magic code that you type in that unlocks an item for you. But
I mean, what's doable is a item that everybody can get.
that celebrates RuneFest.
Yeah, I mean that'll probably be. I think the idea I came up with was, I've been laughed at a lot for this, is the RuneFest fist, which is which is a new sort of weapon type of really metallic glove that you punch people with.
Well, if you think about a rune fist, suppose it was like a glove that keeps runes inside it, so that you're casting spells with your rune fist rather than with spells with runes in your inventory. I could see a use for that, because carrying a whole load of runes around is kind of annoying, and you risk them a lot when you die.
Yeah, no, that's yeah. So I mean, if you've got ideas for it, share and let us know, and we'll see what we can do. Blah 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 blah. Anything else coming through? Interesting questions that we're seeing.
Kick button for player-owned houses, I see. Yeah, we could totally do that. Didn't make poll 11, but there's quite a lot of other stuff on poll 11. Don't mind putting it on a future one. We'll certainly make sure it's on the wish list.
We've got Grand Exchange again. I don't think that's what the community particularly wants right now.
And we can't deliver it.
We can't deliver it as well. So there we go. I need to visit the makeover mage. Why? I need to grow my hair back or something.
You need to be a woman?
I need to be a woman. Yeah, that could be it. I've got a nice pair of legs.
Where?
He does.
You can't see them on this stream, though.
Yeah, keep it hidden. Everybody wants us to take our shirt off right now. What else we got? ZMI Altar. That's one we didn't have last week.
Oh, well, it's in the archive along with God Wars. So yeah, Nexus and I had a look through months and months ago, and we reckon we could dig out the ZMI Altar and put it into Old School RuneScape for you if you wanted it. At the time, there was a lot of controversy about that, because if the XP rate for runecrafting changes, is that maybe not in the spirit of Old School RuneScape? But that's kind of up to you, not up to us. And yes, we would be willing to poll that in future if you wanted it.
Cool. That's a question I saw. HD graphics. Who did want to say? So you can do that. You haven't had one for a while. HD graphics. Resizable screen.
The problem with something like that is when we did it before, I wasn't here when we did it before, Ash was, however, that an update of that magnitude requires not only the entire content team, the entire engine team, the entire graphics team. Considering we're a very small development team, there is no way we have the manpower or resource to go over the same things they did originally to bring you that update. It's just not viable.
For that matter, what we had last time was, I think we outsourced some graphical work to a lot of people from agencies, getting them to remake models in the new format with textures included. And there was a lot of work sent out that way. And then a lot of it came back and we had to get it redone because, you know, if you get an agency to do something, it's not always quite what you'd have made yourself in the first place. We found that we were getting too near the polygon count on things. Basically, you should just assume it's never going to happen. Sorry if it's something you were hoping for.
It'd be really nice, but
not practical, unfortunately.
Use the magnifier. If you use Windows, I occasionally use that as well. It's impractical, but it works.
Cool. Somebody's asking for Castle Wars rewards. Now, we did have a discussion about this last week with some players on the forums about Castle Wars. Yeah, no, it was earlier this week, in fact. Somebody's got posts up.
I think a plate skirt would pass, no question asked.
What?
Plate skirt. At the moment, you can't get Castle Wars skirts, only plate legs.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, people are complaining, not many people are playing Castle Wars. We need to know how you want it rejuvenated to get people in there. There's a thread on the forums. I can't remember what it's called. I'm trying to remember. I think it was called "Does anybody play Castle Wars anymore?" Something along those lines. Jump in that thread. Let us know your ideas, and we'll certainly have a look at it. And of course, anything that does go in will get polled first, so you will get to have your say. and we'll see what we can do. That's cool. Auto join friends chat.
I think we've covered that one.
Go with that one. There we go. Covered that one. Else we got curses. That's an interesting one. Curses.
Well, we certainly could make an alternative to the prayer menu and put features on it, maybe like the curses you had before, maybe some other ones if you've got ideas. We don't have the Madrak quest to unlock it necessarily, but we could have it unlocked by something else. So yeah, totally, we'd be up for adding curses or an alternative prayer book.
Yeah, that's cool. That seems very popular in the stream at the moment, but there we go. I think it's probably sounds. Do you guys want to see what Reach has been working on for you?
I think I posted on Twitter a while back and the 2007 Escape Reddit. If you're not a member of that Reddit, definitely go and join it. Some free advertising for that Reddit there. I posted a picture of what looked like baby gods, and I said I wouldn't explain anything more than that until we actually got to a stream. If there's people who want to see, I'll happily show people what baby gods are.
Yeah, some people might want to see it.
I don't also people want to see. Oh no.
Yeah, well, I'm sure we all want to see that.
Right. When people have acknowledged they can actually see the main screen. Right, on your screen now you should see 4 eggs and a potato. Ignore the potato. That's the infamous rotten potato right there. What you see here are 4 eggs: a Bandosian egg, a Zamarakian egg, a Saradominist egg, and Armadillian egg. And I'll shoot these claims down now. This is not summoning. Not summoning in the slightest. We're only using summoning models because they're convenient. The idea behind these eggs are that these eggs contain a miniature NPC of their respective god, i.e. a baby Bandos, a baby Zamorak, baby Saradomin Ziliana, or I say when I say baby Bandos, a baby Grador, sorry, baby Krill Sutzeroth, I believe that's how it's said, is it?
Sutzeroth.
Yeah, baby Face Keyboard, baby Ziliana, and baby Kriara. These would be, or these are intended to be an incredibly rare drop. When I say pretty rare, we're talking 1 in a few thousand from their respective bosses. And when hatched, you get a miniature pet. Baby General Grador, huge baby War Chief. Over here, we will quickly spawn our baby Krill Sutzeroth. They have small babyish battle cries. I'm being rather cliche here by using W's. Baby Ziliana for Sourdomin. And my favourite one of all, actually, a baby Kriara.
Pigeon.
Which basically looks like a pigeon, yeah. These pets took me about 15 minutes to make. They're pretty awesome. The idea is they'd actually follow you around. They'd be an incredibly rare cat, effectively. They'll follow you around. They will do typical boss things and shout small battle cries for their chosen god. I also stole the idea from the main game's Vitalis pet. Vitalis is an incredibly rare pet dropped from Virago. When 2 Vitalis meet each other, they actually dance with each other, shouting for Virago. So I thought I'd steal that idea and use it on this. So for example, if I had Ziliana following me, and I met up with Matt, who had another Ziliana, the 2 Zilianas would recognise each other and shout for Saradomin, as they would. I also decided to add a new little feature, which would be if I had a Kriara pet, and that Kriara pet met a Zamorak pet, they'd actually shout at each other and bicker like children, similar to what babies would do, I guess. Some other little niche, cute little idea that I had. This is something that would have to go through a poll, but this would be a very good time to get people's opinions. No, they wouldn't be tradable. These are purely, if you get one as a drop, it's yours. You wouldn't be able to sell it to anybody. You wouldn't be able to give it away to anybody. It would only show up to the person who got the drop, and it will be yours. So, well, you'd be, considering how rare they are, if you got one on day 1, you can almost guarantee you'd be the only player in the game with one. Like I said, these are, they don't grow, they stay this size permanently, so they continue to walk around this size, they continue to shout typical babyish things, such as, you know, well, I don't know what a giant orc thing would ever say as a child, but I'm guessing it would just be whatever I can mash into the keyboard. Ziliana would continue to shout things for Sardamin, and this pigeon over here, which I really want one of these on my personal account. Like, really want one. This is fantastic as far as I'm concerned. You just imagine this following you right now. Again, this is something that would have to be polled, so if you do like it, there will be, after this stream, a thread on the Old School General Forum for you to leave feedback on. You can, you know, sell ideas to us, and we'll try and see if we can put those in if you don't like what I've suggested, or if you think they should do something else, come from somewhere else, be however rare you suggest them to be. Right now, I have planned for them to be incredibly, incredibly rare, because I feel the people that should get them should really have the gloating rights to show them off. What do people think? What if you die? Does it stay with you? What happens to you? Are we able to keep them if they die?
Yeah, totally.
Oh, awesome.
At the moment, cats are programmed not to do that, but we can program anything else we like.
So, in response to that question, yes, if you died with it, you can keep it. You don't have to worry about it scattering off somewhere.
Don't think they like it.
Someone said 1 in 100 kills. That's not rare enough. I'm talking 1 in a few thousand. 1 in 100 kills, everyone on day 1 would have one.
Do they fight with you?
Do they fight with you? That falls under something. I think Mr. Crow has been talking about having combat pets. I didn't plan for them to fight for you. I guess we could make them count as god pieces in God Wars. So obviously, if you took Bando's pet with you, Bando's creatures wouldn't attack you, similar to the way the God Birds work from summoning. I guess we can do that with them.
Should be possible. We did it before.
So with a counts a god item in response to Julian, they should do. I can easily make them do so. Put them as fightable in your house. I'd rather not for the time being. That's something that's going to take quite a lot of work.
They can have a stomp option in your house and just get squished all the time.
Make them like mini dreadnips. Again, that would involve them making them combat related. I'll just spawn some more very, very quickly. So again, the idea would be that the boss of Ziliana, for example, would have a very rare chance of dropping an egg. So obviously when you killed Ziliana, you click on the floor and you see an egg on the floor. Scream, because you've just obtained one of the rarest drops there is in the game. I believe the rarest drop is actually insanely rare. I'm not going to go into details. You probably know which one it is. But again, go Zamawak. Apologise for the poor choice of words. Sawadomin. I'll try to look for a better model than this, because this is just a standard egg. I could use a Easter egg, I guess, or one of the Eastering eggs.
We can make it bigger.
That's true. Armadillo is the bestest.
What we can do, if you guys are up for it, is when if it does pass the poll, then we can run a competition. You guys can say what you want them to say, and we can put that in, so you can control that.
That's completely true. Making them say things is really, really easy. There's just one string of text. So if you have any ideas of what you want them to shout, keeping it clean, of course,
yes,
we can easily put it in, no problem. And then your simple suggestion will be running around in game behind you, assuming you have one, shouting what you suggested. I want a mini roller. Which pet would you have if you could have a choice of having one? I'm imagining it would all go to Kriara here, because who wouldn't want a flying bird behind them? See what comes up. I want a pet Ziliana. Oh no, it's actually rather fairly split.
Yeah.
I'd definitely have, it'd be either Kriara or Bandos, because Bandos just looks pretty awesome as a baby. And he almost has a nappy on in some respects anyway, with that tassets. If it was possible to give them nappies, I would do, but unfortunately, whilst we have got the model editing tool working recently, I don't think Ash and I know how to model anyway, so
outside our skill set.
it'll be rather difficult to model some white nappy region on them. Can you only get one egg per specific boss ever? I'll be able to make it so that the boss will only drop them once per player?
Yeah, we could.
Again, as an answer to that question, I guess yes we can. So obviously once you've got the pet drop, you won't ever get it again.
Unless you lose it.
Unless you lose it through unorthodox means. But make Jan drop an egg. We can do this with every boss out there. In fact, we can do this with any NPC out there. I just chose the God Wars bosses because I felt it appropriate coming up to the God Wars launch. And they all animate pretty awesomely when they're a child. I do have roaming versions of them, but right now that's not actually packed into this stream, so I can't show those off. All they do is walk around similar to how any other NPC would, without attacking each other. I've took away their combat levels and attack scripts, so they wouldn't actually attack anything. Otherwise, that'd be quite insane having a level 500 baby Grada walk behind you, beating and crap out of everything they walk past.
In the wilderness.
Yeah, that would be quite hilarious. You're PKing, and then all of a sudden, Kriara decides to whirlwind you. But no, it looks like people like them, which I'm glad about. Again, after this live stream, if you look at the Old School General forum on the official forums, there will actually be a thread stickied at the top for you to post your feedback and what you feel, and if you like them, if you have any better ideas, I'll be checking that thread even when I'm at home, so by all means post away. That's about it really from me. I don't really have anything more to show anybody. They do look awesome though. I'm really proud of these. 15 minutes work, and it's some of my best work.
Brilliant. Okay, where are we at? So that's there. Hello again. We're back. Okay, so any more questions? Must have time to think of some more questions while we've been there. People asking about Dungeoneering, which we covered earlier as well, and the stream will be available to watch afterwards. Please do have a read back. There was a chap whose name I'm really sorry I can't remember, but he did a quick précis on the forums of the last one. If he does one on this one, then head over and read that on the forums as well. I can't remember his name.
The guy who did the transcript.
Yeah.
Ice Crush.
Ice Crush, that's it.
If you're watching, cheers for that. That was really helpful.
That was good. That was good. When does Smoke and Kills come out? Like we said earlier, we're planning to do a Slayer update type thing sometime in November, so more to follow on that.
I'm seeing a lot of Dragon Claws come up.
Yes.
I'm personally not a fan of Dragon Claws. There was a lot of debate and controversy over how overpowered Armadyl Godsword was when we first gave the suggestion of God Wars to you. If you thought Armadyl Godsword was overpowered, I think the community will... I'm not going to talk on behalf of the community, but I think the community will mutually agree that Dragon Claws are completely overpowered, especially compared to how the AGS reacts.
Yes. Yes, I don't think you're wrong there. Pathfinding.
I spoke to a guy from the engine team earlier today about that, to remind him that we've got God Wars coming out very soon, and it's really quite frustrating trying to click on the big bosses when you keep dancing around them. Unfortunately, there are many, many things that he is required to do. He has not been able to fit that in yet. He knows how badly we want it. I'm afraid that's the best we can offer at the moment.
Yeah. Cool. What else we got coming up? Clan Wars.
Well, back in August when we ran the big survey to see which updates you'd like us to be polling in future, when we offered God Wars, PvP Worlds, Clan Wars and Wilderness Tag, Clan Wars came third. Now, at the time we said we'd do the first two and then we'd see what was required next. And I think after we've got PvP Worlds through its poll, assuming it passes, we should deliver that, and then maybe look at something that isn't about PvP combat for a little while. Like the Slayer update we keep talking about. I would like us to get something in for that. Or maybe even some skiller features that for people who aren't so much into combat at all.
I think that's something that somebody's brought up quite a lot there, actually saying there's no skiller-friendly updates or skiller-friendly content. Actually, yes, SKB113 is pointing it out right there, actually.
Yeah, so Clan Wars may not be the priority for a bit. Nevertheless, we wrote at the time what we could do. We don't have the engine features that we used back in 07 to write the original launch, where you could get together for your chat channel and have a private battle that way. But we can find other ways of letting you have a invitation-only battle in a multi-way arena, maybe with run-ins allowed or disabled, maybe a choice of arenas. We've got quite a lot of technology, if you don't mind that we couldn't do it so easily off your chat channel. And yes, we'd be very happy to try and write you a Clan Wars minigame like that. We could also do the free-for-all arenas, although there's a lot more concern that those would devalue the wilderness, so they might be something best held back for a separate poll question.
Cool. Resting has been asked quite a bit. I know we're almost pro at it, IRL. But resting. Changing the resting figures, I guess we could change rest, how it works, how quickly it goes back.
So, the problem we've run into there is, firstly, the game engine at this time does not give us flexibility about run energy restore rates. run energy just ticks up at the rate the engine says it does, and we can't edit it the way we could from 2009 onwards. What we could do, and it has been suggested, is have something that makes your energy just restore quite fast all at once, like updating the dream spell has been a popular idea. Alternatively, if you just pressed a button and it made you restore your run energy really quickly, you might be okay with that. That said, we do have to be careful not to completely make agility a redundant skill or make energy potions not worth having. That's something that has caused a lot of complaints every time the idea of resting has been suggested. So the other thing that limits us is that we don't have any of the animations for sitting down. And although we think the model editor that Reach had remade for us might be able to do animation as well, none of us is actually an animator. And those animations were problematic in the extreme. There's so many pieces of costume which fold up in funny ways, or skirts that fold up not where you want your skirt to fold up to in our game, that we currently just don't have the animations and probably can't get them. So you'd be resting standing up. That, or someone had the rather funny idea about making a chair pop out of nowhere whenever you tried to rest, and that you just sit on this magic chair that's come out of goodness knows where. That would be an interesting way of going about it. I could do that.
Cool. Right, what else we got? Done that. Twitter accounts. People keep asking you what your Twitter accounts are. They know mine. Mine's at JagXMattK. What's yours?
At JagXReach.
At JagXAsh.
Difficult. There we go. That's that. Lots. Bank tabs. There we go. Lots of people are asking about bank tabs.
I'm afraid the answer to that one is the same we gave last week in the stream. So, bank tabs is a big job. To control which tab things go into when you deposit them, we have to go and visit every piece of code that tries to modify your bank in the whole game. And that's quite a lot of code. Even in 2007, there was a lot of features in RuneScape. Now, we'd be happy to do it, but it's going to take some time, which is why we gave you the search feature so that you could find stuff in your bank more easily, and said that we'd be happy to come back to bank tabs at a later date. In the meantime, yes, you've got the search feature. Hopefully that's at least getting you by in the meantime. Looking further forward, there's been a few suggestions that bank tabs for us could maybe work differently to what they do in the other RuneScape. In particular, when they got bank tabs, the first thing that had to change was that when they withdraw a stack of items, everything else in the bank shuffles up immediately without leaving a gap, because their bank tab system doesn't support gaps in the bank, even for an instant. If we do bank tabs for you guys, we would like to have a go at doing them where you can leave a gap briefly, because I think that would go down a little better. And at the very least, if we ran a poll question about bank tabs at all, we'd be asked, can we do it like this? I'd like to know the answer before writing the poll question. So we'd be trying to sit down and experiment to see if we can write bank tabs differently to the other RuneScape. It's not going to be a small thing to do, but yeah, one day I would really like to have a go at it.
Cool. What about bank space?
We gave you more bank space. What did you do with it?
You can never have enough bank space. I'll side with them on this one.
Oh, God.
Give me infinite.
I gather the engine guys, when they gave us the last lot of bank space, said that they'd done something that will make it easier to give us more bank space in future. So we hopefully won't have to go back to our friends in the engine team quite so often about that.
Cool. 24 wasn't enough apparently, according to Twig's talent.
Well, throw away some of your junk, mate.
Blah blah blah.
Question about hit points, prayer, and run energy being shown near the minimap. Somebody tweeted me a picture the other day showing how they thought it could be done with existing graphics. If I switch back to the in-game cam, you see here where the mouse pointer is pointing, I hope. Their idea was that these little columns could be replaced with a hit points indicator.
No, they won't see where your mouse pointer is pointing because you need to do it on that screen.
Right.
There you go.
So, this would be the hit points indicator, this would be the prayer indicator, this would be the run energy indicator. Now that is something we could do using the graphics that are available to us. We could program that in. If, on the other hand, you might feel that, well, you might feel it's going to change the feel of old school RuneScape. If that's something you don't want, then you'd get to vote no in the poll. Of course, if we had those buttons, we could also make them do stuff, like in the other RuneScape where the icon, the prayer icon, is also a quick prayer button, and the health indicator makes you eat food or cure poison, things like that. So yeah, we'd be willing to consider that kind of thing as well. We try and pull it in as many distinct questions as necessary to make sure you get the version you do want. Yeah, we're up for that.
Cool. Well, any more questions we see come in that are exciting?
XP bar?
What? XP bar? Oh, there it is, yeah.
Yeah.
XP bar.
Well, at the moment we don't have any XP tracking things at all. We don't even have the thing that shows you XP to your next level, like came out in, I think, late 2007, early 2008. But I wrote that before. I could help write it again. We could also install something to track how close you're getting to the next level, maybe not popping up on your screen all the time, but there's a little bit of spare space around the minimap. Trying to make something that looks good for that would not necessarily be easy, but yeah, we'd be up for trying something like that.
Sweet. Loot share. Next one.
Me again.
Loot share, go on.
Don't you even want to answer me this? Oh, right.
You know the more code side technicalities of it all than I do.
I guess. So, God Wars Dungeon, what we offered was a loot broadcast system. The reason we offered that is that for loot share we needed two things. One of them is the chat channel grouping system. We've got chat channels, but we do not have the engine feature that lets us tie code to them. That came in late 2007, for writing loot share, in fact. Loot share was only written, of course, because we were going to have a trade limit in the game, and people would not be able to share stuff with their teammates anymore, which they had been doing very happily for years and years and years before Jagex needed to get involved in it. So for the moment, what you're doing is the really old school behaviour, where you just told each other what you'd got and shared it like well-behaved people. Now, could be integrity isn't what it used to be. That's very sad. That's your problem. But so to help you with that in the God Wars dungeon, we're giving you the loot broadcast system, where any drop coming from the bosses or their bodyguards will be broadcast to everyone in the boss room, so that you at least know what was dropped. We are not able to share the wealth around the team fairly, unfortunately. The other thing we don't have, apart from tracking who's in each chat channel, is any notion of prices, because we don't have a grand exchange, and there's quite a lot of people who don't want a grand exchange. So with the game not knowing the value of any item, it makes it really kind of unfeasible to share the wealth of each item. People said do it on alc price is better than nothing. I'm not sure it would be. If we were sharing out wealth in a completely unfair way, it might be better if we just left you to share things out with your friends yourselves, like you used to do. So for now, we can't do loot share. Sorry.
I'm going to quickly pick up on that following glitch that somebody keeps shouting about. The following glitch is known. We know about this. There's actually a job in with it with Engine right now. It came about after the PID update. If anybody doesn't know what I'm on about, occasionally if you follow somebody with your run turned off and they're running, if you follow somebody whose run is turned off and you've got your run on, obviously they'll be walking. Your energy will be depleting even though you're walking. We know about it. There's nothing we can do about it. It's with Engine. Again, we always, when we can, poke Engine to deliver some of the things we've asked them for. They're a very, very busy team, so it's not always as easy as it seems. Again, we know about it. We knew about it immediately. We are chasing it. Just keep an eye out, I guess, because the moment we fix it, we'll obviously tweet about it. As we said earlier, we said our Twitters earlier. If not, you can find us on Twitter easily. Otherwise, keep an eye on the forums because we all post it there the moment we have a fix ready for it. But there's nothing we can do about it, so there's nothing we can get out to you anytime soon.
Want to talk about Bounty Hunter? Somebody shouting about Bounty Hunter. I know you love Bounty Hunter.
I do like Bounty Hunter.
Yeah.
As Ash said earlier, we've delivered two, or we're in the process of delivering one very high-profile combat-related update. Another one is being polled as we speak, and assuming it passes, there'll be two very high-profile combat updates that we deliver to you. Second to that was third to that was Clan Wars, and after that was Wilderness Tag, which was another PvP-ish related piece of content. Bounty Hunter is again another heavy combat related piece of content, and Bounty Hunter, I'm a big fan of Bounty Hunter. I didn't play Bounty Hunter when it was out originally, but I didn't really understand respect the true value of how good Bounty Hunter was until the Wilderness and Free Trade was eventually returned by Ashir, in fact. I would love to do a Bounty Hunter in Old School. It's something we can consider for next year. It is one of the most well-designed, brilliantly executed pieces of content I think RuneScape's probably ever seen, in my opinion, and I would love to have something similar of that nature and effect back in Old School.
For what it's worth, if we did do it for Old School, we would not necessarily take out a quarter of the middle of the wilderness to do it. We would put it somewhere else.
Yeah.
That was the advantage of doing it back when it was done, because obviously the wilderness didn't really have much of a PKing PKing range anymore, because obviously the wilderness didn't exist at that point. Well, the wilderness existed, but PKing didn't exist. Obviously, we don't have a trade limit or any trade restrictions, so the wilderness.
We don't want any.
We're not gonna. We're gonna do our best not to put that there as well. So with the wilderness being completely used up right now, with PK in its entire glory, to put Bounty Hunter in the middle and take up a huge percentage of the wilderness is not something we're keen on doing. So we'll look to do something similar we do with Nightmare Zone, put it on a map square somewhere else, make it as big as we can, and as the way I've envisioned it is for it to be as similar to. Remember, we have to use existing models here. We can't give you new walls or anything, but I'd want it to be exactly how Bounty Hunter was back then. Is how I imagined it, but obviously it's open to feedback. If you have a better idea, please by all means go suggest it when we think about doing it, because Bounty Hunter is something I'm really keen on.
Cool. Halloween. People are asking when it's coming. It's coming.
Halloween.
Halloween. Yeah.
I guess that'll be 2 weeks today with any luck.
Yes. Yeah. That's about right, isn't it? 24th of. 24th of October.
Yeah, that will give you a few days before Halloween to have a go at it, and we'll leave it in for a couple of weeks when it comes after it comes out.
Cool. And for those who don't know, for Halloween you will get access to all the old Halloween rares as well. You're going to get 2 of each one, so you're going to get 2 green masks, 2 blue masks, 2 red masks, 2 pumpkins, 2
sides.
No, only one side.
Oh yeah, no,
All
one's
tradable
You get 2 of all the tradable ones, so whatever else was tradable. And you'll get access to all the old non-tradable ones. So you get access to your scythe and your skeleton outfit and your lantern mask thing and your
zombie head,
and whatever else there is. And also you will get, are we given a couple or just one of the black masks?
We said we'd make it an untradeable
There we
item.
go. So
that'll be unlocked.
And you'll get a untradeable black Halloween mask.
To show you were there.
Yes, exactly. So yes, that's what's happening with Halloween. Anything else interesting coming through on the stream?
I like the idea from Josh's mum about the Curadel dungeon. I really do like that. Giving high-end slayers somewhere special to go with, well, their own access to monster spawns would solve some of the problems we've been having. Like, there was a player on the forums earlier today complaining that he couldn't get enough cow fights for his task because they don't respawn fast enough. And even if we made them respawn faster, well, what you really need is more spawn points for them. Otherwise, there'll just be one person grinding faster and still not get all the spawn points. So I do like the idea of having a new dungeon owned by some top-end Slayer NPC as a future update.
Cool. I'm going to touch upon the MaxCape quickly, actually. That's been spammed for quite a while now, and we haven't actually answered that one yet. MaxCape. Is this... We can do a Max Cape, can't we? We can need to do a Max Cape.
We can make a cape that's locked by anything we please.
Yeah. I'm 50-50 on a Max Cape. I have a Max Cape in main game. Before I had one, I liked the introduction of them. When I got one, I noticed how many other people had one, and obviously we introduced a Max Cape. Only one person right now is actually close to getting it, I believe. So you're all shouting for a Max Cape, but how many of you are actually going to how many of you are going to commit to get one is the next question. Otherwise, you're only going to have someone. I think Jebrim's leading right now. Only he's going to be the one running around with it. So if you're calling out for, are you after? Obviously, you have skill capes, so that's not what you're shouting out for. But obviously, if you ask for a skill cape, there's only one person really out there who will get it anytime soon. Aside from that, unless you're committing to getting one, it's going to be a bit lonely, really, isn't it? So that's all I can say really on that one.
Yeah, there we go. Jebrim lol is
Okay.
Yeah. What else did I write down? Addy bars. They are coming unnoted, aren't they, Ash?
They are indeed. When we polled the God Wars dungeon, we told you that we would do it with unnoted adamant bars dropping from the Aviences. We're not averse to adding the noted adamant bars somewhere else in there, such as in Fiara's room, but for the moment you're getting them unnoted.
Yeah, absolutely. Any more interesting questions going around? A lot of the same stuff.
Cooperative Slayer is a nice idea.
Yeah.
We could do that, yes, if maybe built into the big Slayer thing we're planning for later in the year.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Co-op Slayer. Co-op Slayer was a very good update.
Good.
Done by Monado, I believe.
Yes, and it's not that hard to... I've read the code for it before. I could do that.
Cool. People are asking you to do some dancing, Ash.
Oh, later.
Maybe
We've got
at the
another 10
end.
minutes to go. Don't want to spoil it all.
I should get a sign saying 10 or something. Oh, you've got a notepad there, actually.
Okay, I've got a notepad.
Yeah, I've seen what's drawn on your notepad. I don't want to show them that.
I'll write notes down on what you think to say, so that we can go away and we can see what's come up and act on it. So that's the series I've got a notepad. And write down the questions you're asking so I can not forget stuff. Got mind like a sieve at times. Okay, giant mole should drop chaotic. So I don't necessarily think chaotic is a good idea.
I don't think Giant Mole should do that.
No, but giant mole maybe making it a bit more interesting.
It could do with something like that. I think other RuneScape's been thinking about what they could do to their Giant Mole.
Yeah, I guess. It's not my favourite boss, but obviously if people want a change to it, by all means. I think probably the biggest change people will ask for is for it to stop digging and then disappearing occasionally. Which, for anybody who killed it on launch originally, which is the only time I really killed the Giant Mole, to be honest, put me off almost immediately. So, if that's a change people want, then by all means suggest it.
Yeah, give us a bit more detail with it. Like, if you wanted the mole changing, what would you like it changed into?
Also, as for chaotics,
Might want to save them for something else.
Yeah. I don't think making the Giant Mole drop them as well would really bring much value.
I had a friend who had a giant mole once, and the doctors had it taken off.
We have to listen to this. We do have to listen to this all day.
It's actually true.
You
as well.
you made an excellent joke earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Being a father, I've got to make bad jokes. Lots of people ask about free to play. We've covered that already. Feel free to read through. No, read back through the stream. Watch the stream back. We covered that earlier.
Question from Josh's mum about recolouring Abyssal Whips. I think we could indeed do that.
Yeah.
Now we've got some of the resources we didn't used to have. So yeah, if you wanted a cosmetic recolour, or maybe even an upgrade unlocked through some other piece of content, we could make you a different colour whip, and maybe other items besides.
Cool. Soul Wars. That keeps appearing now and then.
That's a very big piece of content with some very big bosses in it as well. Making big bosses isn't hard. Obviously, again, they'd have to be remodeled or existing modelled versions, such as Grador, for example. We can, well, like I showed you earlier, with him as a baby, we can blow him up to 3 or 4 times the size. Again, that's another very combat-heavy minigame, which we'll have to consider later on into next year, because we'd like to, as Ash pointed out earlier, and as I said earlier as well, we have been delivering a lot of very combat-orientated pieces of content, and Soul Wars falls under that. And if you want Bounty Hunter as well, that's another very heavy combat-orientated piece of content. So again, I guess we can do, but
same with the Court Beast as well that keeps coming up.
That's a boss I would love to have back if I could have any boss back from any period.
That gives the Zamorak Spear a bit more use.
Yes, it would. That's my favourite boss. Probably in the whole of RuneScape, to be honest. Ignoring some of the dungeoneering bosses, which I really enjoyed on release, but Corporal Beast was... If anybody out there who's from the original Sigil Seekers clan, that's what made Corporal Beast amazing for me.
Cool. Craft X on teletabs. That was Luke V22, I think it was to mention that.
Yeah, we could do that. We've got the ability to edit the interface that you click on to make teletabs, so yeah, we could add more options to it, like make X.
I'm seeing also upgraded Fire Cape come through. I believe you and I actually talked about if we could recolour it, but it's not possible, is it?
Well, the thing about the Fire Cape is it's kind of got lava, and we can't recolour that. I think it's got a red trim on the inside. We could recolour it, but it looks quite good, that colour.
And it really makes sense if it was recoloured something else and there was lava pouring out of it. If I can make it white, then that would be white light, but that would go very well with my white armor. But
Be snaky.
again, none of us really have any animation skills. That's not anything I really focused on. And whilst Ash can do quite a lot of things, I don't think you're very good at animation, or I've ever done animation.
Don't do graphical stuff.
No, so whilst it'd be awesome to recolor a fire cape or make it look anything like the Tokar Cow does in main game, I don't really think that's anything that we can do with the tool set or skill set we have. Even the tool set can do it, but our skill set between us, that's not anything we focused on as Ash is a developer. I mess around with code in my spare time and I break things. So I don't know. Matt might be a secret,
No.
animator, but outside of that, I don't really think we have the skill set to edit something like that.
Okay, cool. Hybriding, that's something we probably ought to cover. I think we covered it last week as well, but it's the clicks that we're finding.
We thought at first that what was going on there was, you click quite fast and it takes the first 7 things you click on and ignores everything else after that point. And we asked the engine guys if they could go in and up that limit so that you could click on as many things as you liked. Turns out that's not what it was. They looked through the code and found there is a limit, but it's something like 28, and that's nowhere near the limit you're actually running into. So clearly there's something else going on, but they couldn't find it there, what was stopping you. Now, looking further on the forums, somebody posted a rather more detailed account of what happens when they try and switch their kit really quickly. And they talked about how it was like when they clicked, the mouse pointer was being treated like it was still somewhere else where it had been earlier, or if they let their mouse move even by 1 pixel, it was treated as a drag request rather than a click request. And we are hoping that when we get the engine team's attention again, which we hope will come soon, we can get them to look into what's going on the client that makes it not realise you're trying to click. Because it is something we want to get looked into, but unfortunately we have not been able to get it sorted yet. We're very sorry.
Cool, right, I think before we go, it's just a bit shameless advertising. Next Monday, as in on Monday, we're going to take you through God Wars. We're going to be multiples of us sitting down there doing a live stream for you showing God Wars, so please do tune in for that. That'll be at the same time, so about 5 o'clock. We also have the stream again, same time next week. So we find this, assuming, okay, we're all going to be here if God Wars doesn't break stuff. And
I might not be here because I will be powering out God Wars myself.
And if it breaks, I'll be working on something.
So you might just get me.
Not a random event.
Yeah, you might just get me, or we might all be here, so we'll have to wait and see what happens next Thursday. Might be a bit iffy because it's a big update going in. But we will have something going on there, and we will have feedback for you guys and give you guys a chance for feedback as well, so that's cool. Yeah, I think that's about it.
Lovely.
Any quick anything before we go?
Automatic incense burners, something that keeps coming up. I would like to have a go at those incense burners. Something I think I did a long time ago was to make houses delete themselves a bit more quickly if you left it, so that when you came back in again, there'd be a higher chance that you'd find your incense burners were out, and then you'd light them again, and you wouldn't get started and then find they go out unexpectedly in the middle of offering all your bones up. The other thing that's been suggested is that we should try and make the smoke a different colour. Like, I'd like to see it green. It'd stand out fairly well against almost all the floor types you can get in there, and it's coming from a herb anyway, so green works. We're going to see what we can do in that regard and then put it to a poll.
Cool. Right, I think that's about it. Well, thanks all for coming, everybody. Oh, there's a camera up there. Thanks all for coming, everybody. I'll see you next week, if not before. You take care.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh yeah, somebody wants to buy my Lesser Demon picture. That's still on the wall and it's still there. I'll tweet it again later. Yeah. Bye.